What's up guys? This video is going to be a bit different than my other stuff. In fact, I think it's going to be way more valuable for everyone here. We're talking about offer creation and specifically how I took a bad offer that can make you $2,500 and transforming it into something worth $100,000. We walked through that 100K offer in this video. Now this video is actually taken from my exclusive webinar I had earlier this week. We walked through how to get paying clients and broke down the exact framework I used. Then we talked about offer creation and how we can create packages worth thousands of dollars instead of hundreds. And we wrapped up the webinar walking through my proprietary framework to close 5-figure deals. My name is Chris Pieta. I teach creative business education. So let's get into this lesson. For the longest time, I had a really not bad, but okay offer at best. For the first 18 months as a photographer, as a full-time photographer, I made about $50,000. Now, not bad money, but not great either. And the main reason for this is because I had a bad offer. I was selling individual photos and I wasn't really packaging them in any way. Then around 18 months, I tweaked my offer really heavily. And I read this book by Alex Hormozi, changed my offer completely. And from there, my business kind of exploded. So I switched from having that bad offer to a great offer. And in the following 3 months, I was able to make another $50,000. And then in case you think that was a fluke, the 3 months after that, it was another $50,000. And I have my offer to thank for that. So for those keeping track at home, in just 6 months, I was able to make $100 grand from just having a really, really great offer. And I'm really passionate about this offer stuff because a lot of photographers and videographers sleep on this and think they just need to have better photos, better videos, better client outreach. But in reality, the offer is huge. So I'm gonna walk you guys through here and compare, just put numbers to the screen, what a bad offer can do versus a good offer. So a bad offer. Let's say our offer can be, we sell photos at $100 a piece. Not bad here, good price per photo, but our average purchase size from clients, average purchase, is just gonna be 5 photos. So 5 times 100 equals 500 a client. Not great here, but still not terrible. If we show our offer to 1,000 people, so on our website, I was talking about having the offer displayed. If we show that to 1,000 people, of those 1,000, maybe 50 people will say they're interested and hop on a sales call with us. And of those 50, maybe 10% will buy that offer. Again, it's not a great offer, so these numbers are kind of low. If we have 10%, but if we have 50 people interested, 10% buy, that's 5 people buying at 500 a piece. So that's 2,500 for our offer here. Now I'm making these numbers up a little bit here, but there is a lot of truth to these percentages. But let's look at a great offer. I'm drawing a lot of inspiration from what I experienced here. So these, again, are not real numbers, but they're somewhat accurate to the percentages that you can expect. So instead of selling individual photos here, we're gonna create a photo package. And it's not just gonna be a photo package, we're gonna include a lot of bonuses. So things like free licensing, we're gonna have really fast turnaround times. We're gonna have case studies to back up what we say we do and include dozens of different bonuses that makes the client want to work with us more than the other person. And for this, we can charge, let's say 2 grand. And this has more than 5 photos, but our minimum cost to work with us now becomes $2,000. So our average purchase size, again, is $2,000 here. If we show it to the same 1,000 people, now we have a better offer. It's way more compelling because we have all these bonuses. We maybe have a money back guarantee, all this great stuff. And instead of just 50 people being interested, now we get 200 people being interested in this offer. And that's because it's just so compelling. They want to hear more from us. They want to have on the call because the offer just seems good. And of those 200, now that we have a better offer, instead of 10% buying, we actually can get 25% people to actually buy that offer. And if we do the math on this, 25% of 200 is 50. So now 50 people are buying at $2,000. That's $100,000 compared to 2,500. And all we did is we tweaked our offer. This is the power of a great offer. And the better your offer, the more people will be interested and the more people will buy it, even though it's more expensive. So that's why I spend so much time inside of my program talking about the offer, talking about like building your pyramid. We have 10 plus videos devoted just to the offer, because if we can nail this, we can make a lot of money through the offer. So we don't have time to actually go into the super specific details of an offer, but I do want to provide you guys with a lot of value here and walk you through the value equation. This is what Alex Hormozi promotes for general business people. I've taken it and I've applied it directly to creative business, so photographers and videographers. So let's walk through this right now. Get some more cold brew. Okay, so this is the value equation. It goes a bit like this. On top, we have the dream outcome. So this is what the client wants. What's the dream situation with a client working with you? Is it pretty photos? Is it increased sales? We have to identify what the dream outcome is and present that to the client. Once we have the dream outcome, we multiply that by the perceived likelihood of achievement. So when a client works with you, they have a dream outcome. How likely do they think that they're actually going to get that outcome when they work with you, right? So pretty photos is a bad dream outcome. A better dream outcome is increased sales of my cold brew. So let's say I own a cold brew company. I want to work with a photographer to elevate my sales, and that's my dream outcome. So how likely do I think that by working with this photographer, I'm going to get that dream outcome versus another photographer? Now there's two parts to this equation, the top part and the bottom part. The bottom part is just as important as the top part here. So on the bottom, we have time delay. So in a perfect world, when someone begins working with you, they get their photos instantly. They sign the contract, photos appear in their email, dream outcome, dream time delay right there, 0 seconds. But obviously we live in the real world and that doesn't happen. So what we want to do is minimize the time delay as much as we can here, reduce our turnaround time as much as we can. And the final part of this component is effort and sacrifice. So when someone agrees to work with you, how hard is it for them to actually work with you, right? How much effort do they have to put in? What's their role in this project? So this is called the value equation. So all of this equals value. Forgive me for my poor handwriting here, but that equals value. So the more likely it is that we can get a client to work with us, the more likely it is that a client thinks they'll get their dream outcome by working with us, the more money we can charge. So the goal of this equation is to increase the top part and then decrease the bottom part. So the shorter our turnaround times are and the less effort the client has to do, the more our value goes up. So the lower this number, the bigger the value, the higher this number, the bigger the value here. Let's walk through each of these components a bit more here to kind of apply this to creative business, right? So number one, we got dream outcome. So we're not going to be pitching pretty photos. As product photographers, I'm talking as product photographers because that's my background, but this applies to whatever your creative is. The goal is not pretty photos most of the time. The goal is going to be increased sales, more brand awareness. So we want to make sure that we're clearly pitching the dream outcome that they want. Because if we're just pitching, we take great photos, lots of people take great photos. We want to speak their language. We want to help them grow their brand through social media, and we want to help them increase sales through paid advertising with our assets, through better visuals on their website, through a better checkout visual on their website. If they're an Amazon seller, then they want to have better visuals there. So our goal as product photographers, as brand photographers, videographers, is to increase their sales and increase their brand awareness. So once we identify that pain point, we can paint the dream outcome around that pain point. Number two, so perceived likelihood of achievement here. How do we increase our perceived likelihood of achievement for a client? So how likely is it that by working with you, the client will achieve their dream outcome? Number one, you want a great portfolio. If your portfolio is niched down into their category, so if we're doing the cold brew example, we definitely want to be a product photographer, even better, a food and beverage product photographer, and even better, just beverage photographer, because that's super niche down. So our portfolio should reflect the clients that we want to attract. On top of that, it's the copy on our website. So by having great copy on our website, we're going to be able to convince our clients to book that call with us to learn more about what we do. And that increases the perceived likelihood of achievement of them getting their desired result. Another great thing that we can do is start using case studies. So portfolio and copy, that's great, but that's all you. Case studies is actually real world experience of you showing that you actually do what you say you do with real clients. So an example case study can be you worked with a client, they had a terrible looking website, you revamped all their photos, and then 30, 60 days afterwards, you ask them, hey, did you notice any increase in sales? They'll tell you, yeah, we saw a 5% increase in our sales after working with you. That's a great case study. You can now say that because of your photography, they experienced a 5% increase in sales, and that's a positive ROI that they can actually see now from working with you. And you can display this on your website, and potential clients are going to see this, and their perceived likelihood of achievement of working with you and achieving their dream outcome is going to go way up. So these are just a few great things that we can do to increase our perceived likelihood of achievement. 3, let's go into the bottom of the equation. So time delay. In an ideal world, I mentioned as soon as someone signs the contract, they achieve their dream outcome. Obviously not realistic for us, but what we want to do is really reduce turnaround times. So if we can reduce turnaround times to be a lot faster than our competition, that's going to be really great for us, because that's going to increase our value, allow us to charge more, and make us more desirable in the workplace. On top of turnaround times, it's not just your photography. The way you communicate with your clients is also extremely important. So responding to emails, you should never wait to respond to a client email. If you're able to respond right away, you should every single time, because clients want to hear from you. If they have a question, they want that answered. And that's part of the time delay on this equation. There's other ways that you can think about reducing time delay as well. Don't have time to get into those here, but if we think of like all the great companies right now, let's say like Amazon, they have same-day delivery. They've reduced their time delay. Netflix is all the movies and TV shows just seconds away, compared to like Blockbuster. Blockbuster had a long time delay, so they went out of business. And let's look at like DoorDash. DoorDash is your favorite restaurants delivered in 30 minutes. Like, these companies are dominating because they have a very low time delay. And this is how we have to start thinking about our creative businesses. Okay, number 4, effort and sacrifice. So the last component here, effort and sacrifice. How hard is it for our clients to work with us? So the easiest thing to do, or a great thing that we can start implementing in our businesses, is us becoming the creative directors of the shoot. We don't want to have to ask the clients everything that they want. We want to be able to go to the client, present them with what we think is the best strategy, and they'll say yes or no. Some clients want to do everything, and that's okay. But for the most part, they're paying you because you're the expert, and they want you to do everything. They don't want to hold your hand here. So we want to make it super easy for them to work with us. And this also comes into play with like how you onboard people, how you invoice them, every interaction you have with your client. Just think of how it can be made easier for them. I mentioned those 3 companies earlier too. So Amazon, Netflix, DoorDash. How do they reduce effort and sacrifice? Well, Amazon has like one-click checkouts. They have subscribe and save. They have like Amazon's choice when you search an item. Netflix, they have like recommended for you. They let you skip the intros to shows. They show you what to keep watching, stuff like that. DoorDash, if you order a complicated bowl from Chipotle, you can just reorder it with one click. They have your past orders. They have top spots near you, popular items from this restaurant. All these companies are masters at reducing effort and sacrifice, and that's how we should think about our own creative businesses.